everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Today, our topic is expanding your system with Platform 3 modules. Just a couple housekeeping items before Eric gets started. We will be sending a recording of the webinar to you all within a week, and it will also be posted on the SmartSimple YouTube channel if you want to access it there. As well, we are going to do a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. Feel free to post questions throughout. Eric just won't be answering them until after. And now I'm going to pass it over to Eric.
Great, thanks, Sarah. Yeah, welcome today, everybody. So I thought we'd take a little bit of a different approach today, talking about the platform and what other things you can do with the system. So hello, I'm Eric, co-founder and director of customer experience at SmartSimple, and welcome you to today. And what you can expect from today's session is using different modules within SmartSimple for other purposes than your granting efforts. So being a platform solution, you actually get the benefit of more than just a pointed solution just to handle your granting. So you can do a lot of other things within the system if you weren't aware of it already. So a lot of times you may want to, you have additional business processes that you need to track or monitor that may or may not be related to your granting, but you use other software to handle that. You can actually build out other modules within the platform to help support those efforts. So for a lot of you who may have been using the system for a long time or maybe new to the system, I just wanted to take a moment and kind of summarize, what does a module mean? And you would have heard us use the term UTA or Universal Tracking App probably over the years as we're referring to our software. And really what this is the ability to create different modules on top of our platform. So instead of making, a grants module or a grant manager that tracks your granting, we actually, we do that, but we use what is called our UTA to build these modules. And you're all pretty familiar with the common ones. We have a grant manager, a submission manager, we use different terms that's unique to your own use cases. Program manager is a common one, budget manager, right? Even a meeting manager or a board manager to manage your grant meetings. So these are all modules that are supporting your granting efforts. But, a lot of times you can do other things. So you may want to track your programs, which you're already doing, or projects maybe after you've done your awards, right? So maybe the grants have been awarded, you may want to move into the post-award stage and track these grants as the projects if they're active. Help desk, you can create a ticketing system. Contract tracking, that's becoming quite popular now too. Tracking, not just the contracts within the grants themselves, but actually a whole module to track contracts as related to your granting. Or even case management with, maybe you're offering professional services, you can track things like that. So typically, when you're looking at these modules, we always ask, we probably wouldn't have asked you when you were being implemented because we know what you're tracking your grants. But if you wanted to track something else, we'd say, well, what is it that you're tracking? And what is the main, thing that you want to keep track of from a business point of view? So that becomes what we call, again, I use a lot of SmartSimple terms here, the level 1. And those activities, the level 2s and everything else that surrounds that are all the actions and activities that comprise of the thing that you're tracking. So, it's probably easier to show you. I'm going to do that just in a moment, but I wanted to kind of summarize this. I don't know if we ever explain this to people when we're getting started, because we already know, what it is that we're tracking in most cases. But back when we started, going back to 2002 when we were building the platform, we weren't sure what markets we would get into. And the idea was to build, handle any kind of use case or any business process that you needed to track. And that was the building of this universal tracking app or this modular approach to the platform. So let me actually show you how that works. And I thought I'd start in actually our system. So today, rather than showing you, typically show demo systems when we're doing these webinars, but I'm actually going to give you a glimpse at our own SmartSimple, as we call it. And we actually not only sell our platform, but we use our platform to manage our own business. So I thought, what better way to show the things that you can do then, show how we use the system to manage other things within the tool itself. So I'll start with the support center. So I just got some fake tickets here. Anyone who's a sci-fi fan may pick up on some of these. They will do a quiz at the end of who can identify who these companies are and what movie they relate to, get some bonus points. But this is just a ticket system that you're probably all familiar with. If you submit a ticket to SmartSimple, we're actually not using any third-party tool. We're actually using our own a UTA. We call it the support center. And within there, we have tickets. It works just the same way as it works for you for granting. We have list views and we can do searches. And, the benefit of having different modules is really to track the different things. I mean, if I open up my main menu here, we have a number over 10 different modules that we're tracking things within the system. So in this case, if I open up a ticket, right, this is the level 1. It's pretty busy internally. I'll quote Mike, our COO. He always refers to us as the cobbler's children. We take care of everyone else's system and we probably update our own as a last thing. But regardless, what's important to us in here is the things we're tracking around the tickets. Who submitted it? What's the status of the ticket? When was it entered? How long has it been open? What servers? Is it related to? What's the severity of the ticket? If there's any notes and things taking place. And then we have other details that you wouldn't see. If it's affected for development, we have QA tabs, what QA does with the tickets. For troubleshooting, these are probably fields that you would have filled in when you submit it. And what the resolution was. And then around this, we can have different activities. Sometimes a problem leads to a change on the server. So we actually we make a change request and say, hey, there's a service pack. And that triggers out to our dev team to say, okay, I need to put the solution for this ticket into the next update package to do that. Other things is we track correspondence. If they're big problems, we do root cause analysis. And we also tie our tickets back to the upgrades we have or requests for different features and functionality. So there's a lot more that happens within the support center with tickets than just the form that you fill out when you're reporting a problem. So that's one way we use it here. Another thing we do is we track our campaigns. So this is our marketing team. They use the campaign manager to track our customer success efforts, customer acquisition, some internal projects that's going on. And again, I'm not going to go too much detail, some internal information here, but I just wanted to give you an idea of the things that you can use within the platform to track internally. I know some of you have reached out to us, and some of your communications and marketing folks are starting to use the system to track things like an event manager, using it for campaign purposes. I mean, we have other tools that support a lot of these, like the email broadcast, for example. You can send out mass mailers that can support your communication, because a lot of times, being in a foundation with your philanthropic efforts, the people that you're outreaching are the people that could be applying for a grant. So you want to combine all of these in the system. And the nice thing is the same people that you're working with, the nonprofits that you're using or communicating with for your granting, you can also, since they exist in here already, the database is already there. So you have all the people, all the organizations, all your staff members that you're working with already. So you can use these modules to tie into that. And then with all the permissioning, you can actually control who can see this or who can do what. So in this case here, I have access to this, but a lot of our staff don't even know we have a campaign manager because they're not involved in our marketing efforts. So they wouldn't have access to this here. Another big thing for us is actually this. We actually track, you would have heard us mention, we take our compliance and our security very, as a very important thing. Just releasing our ISO certification now, but as part of the certifications for security and privacy and whatnot, we need to track what we do, and that's what we get audited on. So we have an annual audit. I believe it just wrapped up. Deloitte comes in and performs an audit, but this is a module, UTA, that we use to track compliance within our company. Who's doing what, if someone is a new hire, did we do all the onboarding steps? If someone's being terminated, did we do all the offboarding steps? Maybe people need access to different things. Oh, I need to be part of that new email group, or I need access to that folder or that module. It has to go through the appropriate approval process and document it. So it's like, yeah, we have internal procedures in place to meet with these compliance and security standards, and this is how we track it. Even on a much simpler note, we actually have, I think this could be useful for anyone to use as a knowledge manager. We keep all of our documentation online. We have, with the ability to use the search and keyword search and document search, we're able to keyword search all these files and documents that we have, and we can control access to it. So we're able to, we're here. I got the training ones up here, all our training documentation. If I need a manual, if I want to see what the current curriculum is, anything that we've ever done, even some of these webinars will be posted up here for reference by staff. Any of the upgrade, even outside of the wiki, we have documentation internally, just to help our internal staff, new people, or even existing people. I've been around for a long time, I can't remember everything. But in here, we have a whole list of documentation that we do and keep online for everybody. Even things like our huddles. We have a weekly huddle, like an all hands meeting, where sometimes we do some training or some, lunch and learn sessions. We keep them all here online that people can search and access. And again, it's taking advantage of the same database, the same users, the same security that you're used to down to the feed. But now we're handling that through here in terms of our knowledge. So the documents and the information that we have when we're dealing our day-to-day work. Also, lastly, I thought, our infrastructure team, the people who handle our network, we track our hardware here. This is even more important now in the current climate. Everyone's working from home. We need to see who has what. This is my information of my laptop, right? I can see the people on networking can see, what's my serial number? What's my lease? Here's a copy of my actual lease. What software do I have installed on the machine? What's the make and model? What are the details? What are the components that I might have extra that maybe someone else doesn't have? So the people handling our infrastructure network have access to this. They're running their reports when leases are up. They got their workflow reminders coming in to say, oh, that software is about to expire. We need to renew it. Or, our hardware policy every 3 years, we got to renew our stuff. And it's all here in the system, all in one place. And it has all the benefits of being, secure, cloud-based, everything online. So all the advantages that you're using the platform for your granting, you can actually take advantage and do a lot of your other business process related items outside as well. So again, I wasn't going to go too much detail. I was hoping to get a little bit of dialogue today. So maybe I'll pause here and take on some questions. I'm going to try and keep it short, but really it was more just to pique your interest and get you aware of, it's more than just granting. You can do a lot more within the system, and it's also being driven by your feedback. I've been getting, since we've all kind of been working from home, people have been asking about these sort of things. So I thought it'd be good, a chance to share and actually show you, from our side, and like, this is what we use the platform for. These are the other things that we do. Maybe you can take advantage of it as well.
Great, thanks, Eric. So first question, would it be possible to see how you use the module for knowledge management?
Yeah, I mean, we even have here, let me go in a little bit. I can kind of show you, this one's, it's mainly just guides. So I can kind of show you here, but we actually have, it's very simple. And things don't have to be complex just because you have another module. Like even the asset tracker is very simple. We're not making it overly complicated. We could, but we don't need to. The nice thing about this is it's assigned to a certain team, right? So we have a team who's able to access this material. We have different statuses. So we know if things are being reviewed, we can check out information. So we can say, hey, I'm updating the documentation almost as a, it's not the latest, it's being worked on. So if someone was going to refer to these documents or download them, they'd be like, wait a second, they're being reviewed. Maybe I should wait for the latest one. And then we can code things, right? So we have, just like you code your grants, we're coding our documentation. What is it relating to? So we can get nice searches. And then, these are just custom fields that we want to track for around that. So it's a very simple module. Again, it wasn't to make it overly complicated, but it's really just to get things online and then get things easily accessed by the rest of the team.
Do you have a guide for creating a new UTA from scratch that describes all the configuration options?
We do. I thought maybe that question would come up. So it's a little bit outdated, but we actually have a guide online. We're actually going through enough. You'll see these requires review. They're actually under review because we're putting together a new curriculum, and we're looking to update a lot of these documentations with video support, as well as updated documentation that's a bit more piecemeal. The documents we have online, if you go to the Wiki and you type in guides, it's there now. So if I go to the Wiki and I just type in the word guide, you'll get a number of guides here. They are old, okay. Here's the UTA one. You're going to see it's dating itself, but currently, from a maintenance point of view, it's 112 pages, and even from an appetite, people are just not, they're not reading like this anymore. So we're actually we have a project on the go right now where we're breaking this out into smaller chunks, and we'll be offering it in the form of video and smaller, like 10 pages or less documents to get you through as a step-by-step how to build your own module. So we are working on that. Some of that introduction I took on my PowerPoints, I took from here. So the information is still relevant. It still works the same way as it always did. So it wouldn't hurt if you wanted to read through some of this material. Just apologies for the dated, look and feel, but the information is still relevant. And some of the screenshots are just they're outdated. It doesn't look like that anymore. But the guts are still there if you wanted to, something to read while you're working from home. But stay tuned in the coming months. We are doing a refresh on all of this.
Do you have to pay for the additional modules?
No, and that's the nice thing. We don't, SmartSimple, we don't sell based on the number of modules. Think of it as all you can eat buffet. You can have as many modules as you want. It's just your user licenses. So that's why I said if it's the same people involved in managing, maybe you throw one or two extra users on, maybe from different teams or whoever's going to use it, you would just pay for the increased in user licenses. But there is no additional cost for the extra modules, unless you wanted to engage us to build it for you, like a professional services. But no, just be a one-time shot. But no, there's no additional fees for the amount of modules that you use.
This kind of ties into the previous question. Is there a cost for support to help you create the new UTA?
That depends. We won't build one from scratch for you. And if you have the odd question here and there, support's willing to help. If you're on our premium dedicated support, then yeah, depending on your package, it may offer configuration hours of services, so you can definitely use those. Or you can talk to our team, platform solutions team. We can walk you through maybe the overview of what you would need to do, help guide you. But yeah, if you wanted us to do the work on your behalf, then we would we can just do a quote for a request for service and let you know. But they tend to be, in all honesty, they tend to be a little bit less than a full implementation because everything else is there. You have your it's already running, right? So you have your people are logged in, you're familiar. Up a new module. If I'll show you the sort of magic behind the curtain where it all happens. If you hadn't realized before, but if you're an administrator, if you go to your main menu and you go to tracking applications, if you want to give it a practice run, you can come here and you click plus on new application and you can build your own module. So if you look at this, everything, this is all the modules are the same. They just have a different name, different features that are enabled. So see, I've turned on level 2s, level 3s, and then as I turn those on, I can control and configure the things inside. So if you're already comfortable adding custom fields and creating a new type or status, you can kind of build your own module if you want, or at least give it a shot. They all work and look the same. The only thing that's different is the fields you add and the statuses and what you call things, but it's all there for you. Just to show you again, if you go to the main menu and then tracking applications, I give it a shot. Try and set one up and see if how far you get.
Can you copy a current UTA?
No, well, guys put me on a spot here. We're working on it. So we're looking on being able to, I don't even know if I can show you from, I don't think I have, it's still kind of in beta. We're working on it, seeing how we can import export. But one of the nice things is a lot of the areas you can import or export information. So I'm just trying to find a good example of it here, like for custom fields, for example. So you can export a list of existing custom fields, import them into another module. But yeah, you can't really copy them per se, but there's a lot of tools within the settings that would allow you to, reuse some of the similar stuff.
Doesn't look like there's any more questions. If anybody does have any further questions, though, like Eric said, feel free to email us at businesssolutions@smartsimple.com. We're always happy to hear from you. Oh, just kidding. One more question. Yeah, it's another question about the wiki. So we'll definitely take a look at that for everyone, and we can email with
I'm just checking my my other screen here. I was just looking into that. I think we may have blocked those for non-internal because we are revamping it, like I said. So I believe they were, again, I think we've actually stopped it because we are looking at or updating them. However, if you want, we have copies of those. If you want, I can send you. So if you're interested in reviewing it instead of the wiki, maybe just email Business Solutions, like Sarah just said, and we'll send you the outdated PDF through that way. So that way you have a soft copy, and then you can try it out from there. So if you're interested, let us know. We'll just email you out the PDF I was showing you.
Awesome. So it's like I said, if anybody does have any questions, just reach out, and you will be receiving a recording of the webinar. And thank you for joining. We hope you have a great rest of your day.
Great. Thanks, everyone.